Well, I wanted to come on and do a mask so I'd feel more comfortable this way. My skin really, really needs it, especially my forehead and my chin right here. Oh my goodness. And right in here, so super, super dry. But I wanted to come on and maybe talk about a touchy subject. And I hope, how do I want to say this? I hope by the description or by the heading of the video that everybody isn't going to go, oh brother, and think it's something to criticize or downplay, or, because I wouldn't want anybody to feel that way. And, I've often wondered at times, should I make a video on this, or is this subject, a little bit too, I don't know, controversial, or it's a hot, touchy subject or something, or, I don't know, who knows what enters your mind when you're thinking about bearing your soul, to say something, and if there's going to be people out there that are haters or, whatever. So with that said, I have been watching the Amber Heard and, what time frame are we at? The Johnny Depp, since day one, their trial and whatever. And I grew up on Johnny Depp. There's some things he's done that I just don't agree with. And I don't even think he believes in God, from, what was said in some of the testimony. He doesn't believe in a higher power. He believes in himself, comment, and just what he has done in the past, I don't agree with. I really liked him growing up, because I grew up when he was just getting started, and I followed him, all my life. So, from teenage years when he first did the, Nightmare on Elm Street movie was the first one, I think. Then Edward Scissorhands, and I just watched him all through my life. So, my teenage years and what have you. But, he's done some things in the past since he's been an adult that I don't really agree with, on the dark side. I am so not a follower of the Manson dude. And Johnny is pretty, I think, good close friends with him. So, there is a dark side to Johnny Depp. But, that being said, with Amber Heard, this is someone that I look at as to, and when I was, doing my little modeling and doing my shows here and there and whatever, I was never going to get, I went to modeling school. I went to a couple of them, and had I been a little bit taller, I might could have, really gone further. But, from what I know about that industry, if you have somebody like Amber Heard in the mix, and she's tall and she's blonde and she's beautiful, and I guess you know, the appointed time she was coming out, you know, to be an actress. Because it all has to do with timing, too. Period. You know, I mean, timing, the period of time. And what they're looking for at that particular time. So it's just not about, well, are you beautiful? It has a lot to do with what the public is raging towards, you know. So there's a lot of aspects involved with, you know, becoming bigger, I should say. So, you know, a bigger star or whatever. Or making it to that point where you're in big films and movies and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted, I didn't know whether I should do it live or if I should just try to make a video. You know, hopefully the video ain't going to go into long lengths of time. If I smoke a cigarette, I'm sorry. It's just this topic is very touchy. And there are going to, if I tell you some stories, there are going to be some things that are, that I've never told no one. And here I am telling them on national YouTube. But I have never told people about some of these things, you know, except my close family. And not even my daughter knows things, you know, and my mom does, you know. My mom forgets now, but I think my mom's the only one that does know about some of these things. But it, Amber Heard, like I said, she's tall, she's beautiful, she really started making her way in the industry and in the movies, and the movies kept getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and then she was in, you know, this Aquaman, and I guess a little bit of her maybe being 2, or I don't know what they're going to do with Aquaman 2 concerning her, but they haven't wrote her out yet, you know, or what, they haven't determined what scenes they will show her or not. But it just, now, you know, my two, you know, sides of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Amber Heard, she's just used to getting her way, you know, and she's a spoiled girl, and I feel that she manipulates people. And she finds a target, and she will go after that target. You know, Johnny Depp, Elon Musk, whatever, they are older men. You know, she's going after more older men. At least she was at that age, you know, a few years back when all this was going on. And she feels that she should get her just due, and they should just bend to her will, you know, and because she's young and she's beautiful, and they're not, you know, they're still beautiful people. I mean, we all are, but they're getting older in years, and you know, you don't hold your looks forever. Trust, you know, women, we can vouch for that. You can't keep your beauty forever. Everybody's beautiful, but when you're young and you don't have the wrinkles going on, and you don't have the sagging going on like this mask is doing, you know, people relate to you differently. They just do. You know, if you're young and beautiful, they relate to you differently and treat you differently. And, you know, it just, she's used to having that. And, but with that said, she's going on about the abuse, and I'm sorry. I just can't. I mean, I look at her, and when she's going and she's talking about these certain things, I'm not saying that Johnny Depp didn't sometimes, say things to her he shouldn't have, or, didn't show, like, a little girl, I don't know who you think you are, type of attitude. And, I'm not saying he didn't do his own stuff. I don't think he did the things that are as drastic as she's talking about. I think she's the one that egged on a lot of the fights. He's always the one that just wanted to defuse it so he didn't have to deal with it. He wanted to get out of the room. He wanted to leave the house. He was like, he wanted her to just go in the other room. Let me go in the other room. Let's both calm down, then we'll talk. But see, she couldn't move past the way she wanted things. And she still doesn't. I mean, let's just look at it this way. She's suing for $100 million. He's suing for $50 million. And his careers, he's the one that's not working. She's still working. So, that kind of don't make no sense. And then she's wanting to give to these charities, she says, or she gave to these charities with her divorce money that she got from Johnny Depp, which she didn't give anything. Now, there's been a couple of people that has donated in Amber Heard's name, but it wasn't Amber Heard. So they donated something, for her, or in behalf of her, but it wasn't towards the 7 million or 70 million, whatever it was, 7 million, I guess. The 7 million that, I think that's what it is, that she won in the divorce. So, child, $7 million, my goodness. I mean, my goodness. Then she gets $1 million for the first Aquaman, and then $2 million for the second Aquaman 2. So, that's $3 million right there with the $7 million Johnny gave her. That's tax-free. I mean, my goodness. You can't live pretty happy on that? That just shows how spoiled she is. Take a drink. Let me see my time. Yeah, I ain't got much time here. I was basing a lot of what she's saying happened just because I've been in relationships in my past that have been mentally abusive, physically, and verbally, definitely. So, I don't know how she can come across and say the things that she is saying that happened to her. And she comes off so unbelievable to not only myself, but so many other women that have been in domestic relationships, you know. I don't see it. I don't see that she's genuine. To me, she feels like she's acting. But I have myself been in situations that were bad. Real bad. Not, I don't talk about this because I'm the type that tries to put everything in a little trunk somewhere and shut it up, you know, because I don't want, it took me so long to get strong, I think, that I feel maybe my weakness will show or something. I mean, I've thought about going and talking with a counselor or something, but then I'm like, you don't want people knowing this, but here I am on YouTube. Like I said. So, it's like, I have been in situations to where I've ended up in the hospital. I've been in situations to where I was carrying a child and lost it with a kick in the stomach from somebody with a cast on their leg. I have even been in situations from my daughter. You know, and which she turns and spins around my daughter. You know, she says things that's not true. You know, when a mother and a daughter get together, and if your daughter was to turn around and call you a, you know, an effing bitch, you know, for talking about the concern of your granddaughter, which was her daughter, and say it's none of your effing business, you know, I popped her in the mouth, and from there she went off the chain. I mean, I had so many things happen. I let her do the damage to me she did. Now at the end, when she wouldn't give me my phone back, I tapped her on the head with a butter knife, because I had to get a butter knife to get into her room, pop the lock, get in her room, because I had just bought a cell phone, and she took it and locked herself in the room. So I had to get that phone back because that was my work. I wouldn't know what job to go to, or if I had a job, or because I did private work. So I had to have that phone. And she wouldn't give me my phone back, so I popped the lock, you know, went to the room. And she's on my phone with my mother saying all this stuff about me after she just strangled me. Kicked me in the face with a high heel on, and she got right there to that corner, and the cop said if she would have came a hair's fraction, it would have taken out my eyeball right there. Well, it went from here all the way across my face, and that's where she kicked me with her high heels. And then there was ligature marks on my throat, and there was 2 lines And then there was huge indentions on each side of the 2 lines. And that's from where her nails, when she was squeezing my neck so hard, her nails just dug into me. And because she's squeezing like this, you know, and the nails are sinking in, the thumbnails came here, and she's just like squeezing, and I have these ligatures all, I mean, even here from the thumbs, because she's pressing and pressing, and it was just ligature marks. I was so embarrassed to go anywhere. I mean, so embarrassed. Anyway, let's go back to the room where I popped the lock. And she's on the phone with my mom. She wouldn't give my phone back. I asked and asked and asked. And I don't know what came over my head to do this. It just was. It just did. So I had the blade part of the butter knife. You know how a butter knife will do like a hook thing, kind of? It's got a dull blade on it. It's not a pointy blade or a sharp blade at all. There ain't much of a blade there, but it kind of makes a hoop. You know, it does at the end, it does a little, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it's got a little, anyway, this one did. And I had that part of my hand, and the handle part was loose. So I had the butter knife like this. Okay, this is the dull blade of the butter knife, and this is the butt of it. So I had it like this with the blade in my hand, and I had it like this. And I don't know what made me think of doing this. Who knows? But she's standing in the closet. She's on the phone with my mom, screaming the top of her lungs. I'm the one that's got a slit all the way across my face, strangulation marks on my throat. So the only thing I could do to get my phone back, I took it and went like this. I took and went tap, tap, tap on her head, because I was thinking, if I could get her mind switch real quick, she might drop that phone. Or give me my phone back. I don't know what I was thinking. But I tapped it like you would an egg. Tap, tap, tap. And it's what they said. The cop told me that, and she started bleeding everywhere. I mean everywhere. And the cop said is what happened is there's veins that ran, I guess, on her top of her head, and it busted a capillary in there, right? So blood just started coming down. And she did have to have a couple stitches, and I don't know why. Maybe that circle butt like this got her real good or something. I don't know. She had to have a couple stitches. But then she goes and tells everybody I stabbed her in the head. I did not stab that child. And she wasn't a child. She was 30 years old, but 29 or 30. But I stabbed her in the head. I didn't even put any oomph into it. I just went like you would an egg. I went tap, tap. Look, I do that on my head right now. That's what I did. And I didn't do it hard. I just tap, tap. And there must have been a vein that ran close there. And, of course, my luck, you know. But she still didn't drop the phone. So, you know, there's that. But then she screaming. And she says, my neighbors is calling the cops. My neighbors is calling the cops. I don't even know how she knew that. But I said, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. You go ahead, call the cops. You know, I said, if you're going to call the cops, I'm going home. They can pick me up there. So the guy that we were with, and she trashed his car. She threw a drink all in his car. I mean, kicked his back seats. And, I mean, just a mess. Left her phone in there, and she didn't know her phone was in there. And she's telling people, I took her phone. I didn't take her phone. It was left in the back seat where she was sitting. So messed up she was. But, I mean, the cops got to my house. And he says, because I was parked at the end, and he said, do you mind coming up to the house. And I said, no, I don't mind. So I did. I went on up to the house, and he looked at me, and he just kept staring at me, and I was feeling very uncomfortable. I couldn't figure out why he was staring at me. And he said, I want you to come here a minute because I want to talk to you. So I went on over closer to him. He said, come here. And I went on over. And he took his flashlight and he took my head like this. And he took his flashlight and he just started doing this number. And then he had me turn around. He's looking all back here. And he said, So he called the cop that was dealing with my daughter. So apparently she had to go to the hospital and have a couple stitches because I tapped her like an egg on the head. And she still had my phone. Going to the hospital, she still has my phone. So the cop said, I'm going to go to the hospital because I want to see for myself how bad your daughter is. If she's at the hospital getting stitches, I want to see what's going on. So he did, and he said, plus, if everything's okay, I'll get your phone. So he went to the hospital, and we waited some time, and he come back, and he said, here's your phone. He said, there's a little bit of blood on it, but don't mind that. He said, just wipe that off. I said, okay. He said, if you're worried, don't worry about your daughter. There's nothing there to worry about. And I said, okay. And he goes, you don't do this to your mama. You don't strangle your mama. See, my daughter didn't have one mark on her. All she had was a little tap on the head. I did not mean to hurt her or anything. I barely tapped her on the head. But she didn't have, besides that, she didn't have one mark on her. Which means, through the kicking on the face, the high heels kicked me in my face, through the punches I had on my face, through the pushing me against the wall and strangling me, almost the life out of me, which the only thing I could say to her while she was strangling me, because I was fixing to black out, is I said, I regret the day I had you. And that's what made her let go. When I said that, she let go of me. That's when she let go. If I wouldn't have said that, she would have probably killed me. If I couldn't get out those few words under my breath and she understood what I was saying, because I couldn't say it like talking, I said it in a loud whisper because there wasn't nothing left to really, I couldn't talk, you know. So it was more like I was trying to let her know. That's the way I was talking to her. That's when I said, I regret the day I had you. And that's what made her let go. If I didn't say that, I would probably be dead right now. She'd be in prison for murder. God knows where her kids would be. I'd be dead. And there'd be nobody here to take care of my dad, my mom, my aunt. I wouldn't be here. So, you know, and this is only one abusive. You can't say that really on YouTube, but relationship was with my daughter. Now, if she was to see this, she'd go and spin it a whole different way. But she did end up going to jail. They were talking about her going to prison because she was already on parole. For another incident. And her lawyer called me and begged me if I would write the judge to keep her out of going to prison, because she was already, she had a felony already. And this was going to make it, and there was pictures of me and the way that I looked and the strangulation marks and the scar from here to all the way across my face from the high heel. It didn't look good for her. And she was in there a few weeks, but we were able to get her out. But we didn't talk after that for years. And to this day, she won't admit it. Except when she was here a couple weeks ago, we got into it again, and she was in the bathroom. She said, "You think I kicked your ass before? You don't want me to come out now and kick your ass." That's what she said to me. I said to her, I said, "Sweetheart, you come out this time, I'm not going to hold my punches back." I said, "You will get hit." I said, "I'll let you have the first blow, but you will get hit." So see, last time I did not want to hit my daughter. I did not want to hit my daughter. And that little tap tap, I didn't see as hitting. I just figured I would tap her on the head. It's the least I could do. And maybe she'll let go of my phone. I had to have my phone for work. And I didn't know what else to do, so that just popped in my head and I reacted. I had no clue she had a vein that close on top of her head. But I mean, that's just the last incident, wise that is, well, no, not really. I take that back. There was a renter we had here by the name of Chad, and he did a number on me because I was asking him to move out. And he didn't punch me, but he threw me against the walls, and I got hurt pretty bad. Just because he kept throwing me against the wall. I'd come forward, he'd throw me again. He'd like a rag doll, throw me around the room. And the corners of the walls, the doors, and stuff like that got me pretty messed up. Then he just goes out there and pinches my titty. Just takes a big old pinch out of it. Why he did that for, I have no clue, but just... And I didn't have a bra on at the time. I had a sports bra on, so he got him a good pinch. But, and those two stories... Now, the one with my daughter's pretty bad, but, the one with the renter here, I just say, that wasn't that bad to me. I mean, it was bad because I looked pretty bad. I mean, it gave my legs all up. And I had some pretty bad bruises on my chest, on my stomach. My arms were all bruised up, Thank God he didn't get my face. But he had my body pretty banged up and throwing me all over the place. Or swinging me, or whatever you want to call it, thrashing me all over the place. But he went to jail too, so he got a year's probation. And at first, they wasn't even talking about taking him to jail. They wasn't even going to take him. But then he started saying some things to the cops, and then that caused his arrest, then that caused a court date, then that caused a judge. And I didn't even have to go. There was an advocate that went for me, and that judge put it to him. after they seen the pictures, and I had a restraining order, I think, for 6 months. And then I've never seen the guy since, you know, so, which is good. But that was my last incident. No, one before that was my daughter. And then there was several before that. Not with my daughter, but with, you know, it's like I told my eyes, I'm like, Mom, what am I, people's punch bag? You know, because I don't really. Now with my daughter, I popped her in the mouth for calling me an effing, you know what, and none of my business about my granddaughter when she's running 102 fever. It's none of my business. But I went through this whole pregnancy with you. Are you kidding me? Getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and being there when my granddaughter's heart wasn't good and all this. It ain't none of my business. You know, so she got popped in the mouth. But needless to say, district attorney said, well, you can't do that anymore. She's grown. You can't pop her in the mouth for things that she says. She's grown. But there was a few really bad ones before that. So, I don't know. I don't want to go into those stories right now. It's way too long. We've been talking, or at least I've been talking for quite some time. Oh my goodness, it's 36 minutes. And I don't even know if this will upload, tell you the truth. But if nothing else, at least it's good therapy. And I did have the guts to at least talk about some of it. And I didn't cry, almost, but didn't. But anyway, just wanted to ask you guys about this Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. I don't agree with everything Johnny Depp did, but I don't think he did all these things to this girl. I just don't, you know. And as far as his cabinets, you can destroy your kitchen cabinets if you want to. They're your cabinets. So that's about all she had to show, is him destroying her kitchen or his kitchen cabinets. So anyway, well, let me know what you guys think if you've been following the case. You know, do you believe Amber Heard? Do you believe Johnny Depp? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. But on my gut instincts and everything that I have been through in my life with multiple relationships like that, DV, you know, domestic violence, DV, yeah, I don't buy her story.
Sure you want eggs?
No, thank you.
Oh, you don't?
No, thank you.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to see what y'all think. And thanks for the therapy. Alright, guys. I love you so much. And remember to put him first. Because they always put you first.